Hi, today I'm chatting with Karen Ed of Clear Mind Studio in Inglewood. So Karen and her husband Craig opened their wellness centre in June of last year and had been in operation for just 9 months before the restrictions of COVID-19 began to hit. Now, Karen and Craig, like so many other local small business operators, had to shut their doors on the studio, but rather than close down entirely, made a pivot where they could to providing services virtually. And I thought it would be really useful for locals and others to hear what that journey has been like, what they've been doing to try and get through this, and what they're hoping for when we get to the other side. And so there's full disclosure, I am one of their studio members and have been very grateful for that and that opportunity to practice virtually during COVID-19. And Karen, you've got some exciting news to share. So first off, welcome.
Hi Nat, thanks for having me on. Thanks for that lovely introduction, and thanks for being a member as well and supporting us through this. It's been great to have you in our virtual classes.
Pleasure. And so this morning there was an email that came out, floats looking like reopening.
Yeah, so this morning we heard from the WA Health Department, and they have released a statement only about aquatic facilities, which floats come under, and they said that flotation therapy can reopen pending the normal, like we get like the water tested by the Stirling Council Environmental Health Department every month, so they just have to come and do their tests and then we can open. So that's happening on Monday. So then as soon as we get the results back, yeah, we'll set an opening date. So hopefully next week, if not the week after.
Yeah, oh, that's exciting. That's great news. So Karen, for those that aren't familiar with Clear Mind Studio and what you do, how did the business come about and what sort of services were you providing and hoping to again provide prior to COVID-19?
Yeah, so we started our business, we opened the doors on the 4th of June 2019 last year, but we actually got the idea to open Clear Mind maybe about 2 years before that. It took just over 2 years from deciding we were going to do it to opening the doors. So the reason we opened Clear Mind Studio was Craig and I own the business with my husband Craig. So Craig and I were both in really stressful careers. He was working FIFO as a surveyor, not on any set roster though. He was away more than he was home, and when he was home he had to go to his office and it was super stressful. And then I was working as a sonographer, so I had a pretty stressful career as well. And then yeah, so like lots of stressful things happened in the few years leading up to Clear Mind Studios. So like our house got broken into when I was here on my own and Craig was there, and we're not from Perth, we're from Scotland, so we don't have any family to rely on, and we've got some really good friends here, but we have that community now that we've opened the studio, but we didn't have that community at the time. So it was super stressful. Other things that were happening at the time in our lives, more personal things where we were going through IVF, trying to get pregnant, and that wasn't working. We did 8 IVF cycles and it was super stressful, especially with Craig not being here all the time. So it made us take a really good look at our lives and just decide like what's working, what's not working, what direction do we want to go in. And at the time, what have I done? sorry.
No, you're all good.
Sorry, emails keep coming through, so I'm like flicking them away. Oh, I should have put my phone on like airplane or something.
All right. I forgot to forward my phone the other day, and a call came up, and I was like, ah!
Oh no. Okay, where was I?
So super stressful IVF, eight cycles, which must have just been so like I know that's physically exhausting for people that have gone through it, not to mention the kind of the mental exhaustion roller coaster.
Yeah, so the things that we were doing to help relieve that stress were flotation therapy, meditation, yoga, going for infrared saunas, things like that, because it's great sitting in a sauna on your own, away from the world. It's so lovely. And these were all the things that we loved. We've always been passionate in like the wellness and health industry. I've worked in the health industry for 15 years. So we decided that we wanted to go in that direction and open our own studio, but also a place where all the things we loved were in one place. Because at the time we were driving all over Perth, floating in one place, having saunas at a different place and having a yoga membership somewhere else. Yeah, so we wanted to create a place where everything was together under the one roof, but also that there was a really lovely like lounge area, so people could just come if they were feeling a bit stressed for whatever reason, like maybe it was just because they had like a really like busy job or stressful job, or like they just wanted an hour away from the kids or something. So just a place where people could come, relax, forget about the outside world, and just like be by themselves and de-stress and relax for a little while. So the things that we offer are flotation therapy, and we have 2 pod style floats, and then we also have 1 flotation therapy pool that's like a big open pool, so no lid. And then we have 2 infrared saunas. We have 2 massage rooms, a remedial massage room and a relaxation spa type massage room. And we have a yoga studio where we do a mixture of yoga, Pilates, meditation classes. And we do a variety of yoga styles. So anything from like nidra and restorative and yin yoga, where it's more focused on the mind rather than the body, all the way up to your flows and vinyasa style.
Yeah. So Karen, that's a hugely brave decision to kind of to follow your passions, to walk away from what you're trained in, where you know you have careers and regular incomes, to something that's, you know, as you mentioned, there wasn't anything exactly like that in Perth, and that's something that you decided to create as a couple. Now, your business was only 9 months old, and it was really going from strength to strength before coronavirus started to have an impact on life as we know it. What were your initial thoughts about the business when you first became aware of the outbreak?
So when we first became aware of the outbreak in China, we thought, well, it's just in China, it won't affect us. But then as it started to spread to Europe, we heard from lots of our customers that maybe they'd been on holiday in places like Japan, and then their work had told them that they had to stay at home for a few weeks and not go into the office and not go anywhere. And then, gradually more of this was happening. So we were doing really well before the closures. We were, our yoga classes, for instance, we'd have maybe like 10, 12 people in them. And then in the space of like a week or 2 weeks, it went down to like 1 or 2 people were coming to classes. And that was for a variety of reasons. Lots of people were finding that they were working from home, so their schedule had changed, or other people in their office were working from home, so they were working more hours or later hours. So people also just didn't want to go to places where other people were. So we decided then that we needed to put our classes online, and then it was only a few days later that the government announced that all group classes had to close down. So so we were already half prepared popping them online, so that was okay. It did take a full 12-hour day though to do the back end of all the coding for mind body and set up everything. But it's been going okay. Well, you've been coming to our classes.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. And it was quick, wasn't it? I mean, people didn't really get time to prepare. It felt that change was very rapid. And then, you know, doors were shut and kind of like, well, now what? You kind of got a sense that it was coming, but I think it was still a bit of a surprise when it hit. So you've made this pivot to online delivery of services where you can. Obviously, you know, we can't do an infrared sauna, unfortunately and tragically, online. And, you know, massage is at this point still not able to do that. But where you've made this pivot to online delivery of services, mostly around the classes, you've also gone and changed membership packages. You've created a special Facebook group with exclusive content for members. What has your service delivery model looked like, you know, sort of in the last sort of month or so?
Mm-hmm. So one of the core values of Clear Mind Studio is community. So we really wanted everyone to still feel like they were part of our community, even though we couldn't see them face to face. So moving our classes online was one thing that we did. We also created a private members Facebook group where we post shorter videos of classes. Some are recorded versions of the online classes, and some are just ones that our yoga teachers and massage therapists have recorded themselves. And some of them are like 2 minutes up to maybe 30 minutes long, and they'll just be like little things you can do at home, like yoga with your kids or stretches, or Megan did one about doing a self face massage. Yeah, so just things to keep the community interacted. We love hearing your feedback about the videos as well. And we changed our memberships too as well. So we put everybody onto the same membership, which was just unlimited classes for everyone and unlimited access to the online recordings. And then we opened that up to the public as well. So the general public can get that for $20 a week for unlimited access as well.
Yeah, which is a great deal when times are tight, but it also allows you to keep paying your instructors, probably not yourselves, but at least your instructors.
Yeah. And then another thing that we did was every Monday night at Clear Mind Studio, we have a community catch up. So it's usually in the studio in person. We sit about and have a cup of tea, and there's a topic and there's a special guest speaker that comes and talks. And that's our way of giving back to the community. It's a free event. Anyone can come along to it. And it's always something that's like inspiring, motivational, or educational. So we decided to amp that up and have more of these. So in the first 2 weeks that we were closed, we had 4 speakers on to talk about things like stress, self-care, mental health, creating new routines. So that was really good, and that kept our community interactive and everyone feeling calm as well.
Yeah. Now, I want to sort of move away a little bit from that to talk about social media and marketing. You've been really active, Karen, on social media since before the beginning of Clear Mind Studio, and I know you'll talk a little bit about that. And all through COVID-19, you've continued to stay in touch with the online community, mostly through Instagram. I know you've got the Facebook page, but I know you're very active on Insta with your polls and lots of, you know, fun things as well. Are there any goals that you've set yourself when it comes to marketing? I know that you always say you're sort of self-taught with Insta. So how have things changed, and how do you sort of see it continuing over the next few months?
Yeah, so I do all the marketing for the studio, and yeah, it's all self-taught, or well, I watch a lot of YouTube tutorials. But yeah, I have a healthcare background, so I didn't really know much about Instagram before we started. One of the things we did do and we continue to do is we started our Instagram over a year before the studio actually opened, so that we could create that community of people that love wellness and health. And since we've been closed, we've continued that as well. Yeah, so yeah, just giving back to the community, giving wellness tips, health tips, stress tips, things like that on our Instagram page. And just connecting with things and talking about different issues and things that people might have going on. Yeah, and something that I found definitely helpful when we were going through our stressful time in our IVF journey was just having people there to chat to that were maybe going through similar things or similar stresses. So I feel like it's really important to be active on your Facebook and Instagram and be like, hey, I'm stressed too. Like, this is how I'm coping with the situation. This might help you as well. What was the rest of that question? Have I waffled too much?
Yeah. In terms of going for, so have you got any goals that you set with your marketing? Is there anything that's changed in the way that you're relating to people online, or that you can see, or anything sort of plan that you've got for how you're going to move it forward?
I don't really know. What did I say last time?
Yeah, Karen's giving away the fact that we've done this once before and I forgot to record it. So this is our second go.
Oh no, you can edit.
We talked about the fun stuff that you've done and how Amber always really features. And I talked about how you did the poll where it was like, you know, what do you miss more, chatting to Craig at reception or patting Amber? And I felt so sad for Craig. I thought I better vote for Craig.
Yeah, we do some fun stuff on our Instagram. It's not all serious like tips and stress and whatever. We do have some fun stuff. Actually, when Amber features on our Instagram, she gets way more engagement than any of us. Yeah. Like, you know, put a picture of myself talking about something and it'll be like 50 likes. Put a picture of Amber up and it'll be like 200 likes and 50 comments.
For anyone that's wondering, Amber's a beautiful golden retriever. So so she's not a person we're patting, it's a dog.
Yeah.
And she visits the studio a lot. When it's open.
Yeah, she's so calm. She quite often will come in with us, especially at the weekends, and she just sits behind reception desk. Yeah. Sometimes people don't even notice that she's there.
Yeah, she is very calm. So obviously not a puppy anymore.
Yeah, she's 4 years old. Yeah, she's quite a lazy dog. She just sleeps all day.
I think Goldies just do that, don't they? Eat and sleep, basically. Yeah, stick their head up for a cuddle every now and then.
Yeah, or when the fridge opens.
Yeah, that's right. So, Karen, do you foresee any permanent changes to the way that you operate your business since COVID-19?
Oh, that's a good question. Permanent changes. So, like, the majority of people that would come to our studio is people that come to the studio to get away from their stressful lives, or to have maybe like an hour away from the kids, or if they've got like a stressful job going on, they'll come to like just escape for it in between work and going home. So we realized that like a lot of people are more relaxed in the studio, and because they're relaxed, they feel like they can open up and talk to Craig and myself. So something that we do want to do is we want to sort of be more than just the sum of the services that we have on offer. We want people to be able to to like talk to us as well. So Craig and I are actually both doing coaching courses. Craig is doing his at the moment, so he should be finished soon. I was supposed to start mine on the 1st of May, but actually because of the coronavirus and things, we couldn't afford it, so I've postponed it till October. So then we'll both be offering coaching services. What else is going to be new? I don't want to give away all our secrets.
No, you're all good.
Yeah.
And it's not on the questions, but I'm going to lob it in there. Is there anything that you've learnt about being a new business and going through this process? Like, what would be your top tip for any other small business kind of currently in the middle of COVID-19?
Oh, well, what have we learned? To slow down. Yeah. Slow down and take some time for yourself. I feel like we were all, so it took us 16 weeks to build out the studio. We basically took the building back to its bare bones, rebuilt the insides with the help of an architect, and then the day we finished, we opened. So for over a year now, we've just been like, go, 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 go. So actually, the business being closed has taught us just to slow down, take time for ourselves. You don't need to do everything today. Actually, if you don't post on Instagram for one day, no one really notices. There's probably lots more. What was the question again?
I guess it was about, you know, what had you learned and your best piece of advice for other new businesses that are, you know, COVID-19. But I think what you've just said will resonate with a lot of people, because what happens, Karen, is we get so busy working in our business that we don't take that step back to work on our business. And it's just like, you know, I've made the decision not to continue to run 2 social media accounts anymore. I'm not going to do Natalie Hoy and Both and Beyond. I'm going to bring it together to have the one that's much more sustainable. So it's taking that step back and going, you know, are there things that we could be doing differently or better? You know, and I think, you know, you're talking about coaching, you recognise there's that need there. So you have this break, you take this step backwards and you go, well, actually, it would make real sense for us to do, you know, this and complement this as a service, or maybe do less of that. And as you said, you know, if you don't post on Insta for a day, it's not a disaster.
Yeah, it's definitely made us take a big look at things and think like what direction we want to go in. And it's also made us super grateful for our customers and our community as well. Like, so many people have kept in touch throughout this. Even if they're not going to the classes, they've still kept in touch, they're messaging us. We've had gifts from our community as well, which is just like awesome to like turn up to the studio to check on it. And there's one of the girls that comes to classes has bees, and she left a pot of raw honey on the doorstep.
Oh, beautiful.
Another customer gave us the starter for making sourdough bread, like the culture. And it's just been so lovely to know like how much people appreciate our space, and how much people like miss chatting to us as well. It's been so lovely to hear from everyone.
Yeah, well, I think it's, you know, a testament to the, you know, the environment and the culture and that sense of community that you've created. Yeah. So last but not least, what are you looking forward to for yourselves and for the business once we get to the other side, once we get through this?
Ooh, seeing all you guys face to face instead of on Zoom, definitely. Yeah, we definitely miss all you guys. We miss like hearing all your stories and sitting in the lounge and having a cup of tea with you and finding out what your kids are up to and where you're going on your holidays. And
that'll be easy. It'll probably be down south now.
We definitely miss like our community and chatting to everybody. So looking forward to that the most. And just the routine is one thing I have struggled with COVID is like the lack of routine for me. It took me until a few days ago to actually set up a home office. So that I did, and I think most people as well that have gone from being at work to working at home, or maybe having no job, have struggled as well with a lack of routine and a lack of day-to-day purpose. So that's something I've definitely struggled with, so I'm looking forward to getting back to having goals and purpose and routine. And our first birthday is on the 4th of June, so hopefully we'll be open now that we've heard from the health department and we can open floats. Hopefully we'll be open. So I guess we'll have to plan something for that. Maybe a virtual birthday party.
Or a progressive one, so everyone can kind of come in, so there's no more than 10 sort of through the day.
That would be a good one.
Karen, thank you so much for your time and everything that you've given today in the Zoom. I am desperately looking forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Nat.
Pleasure. See you.